Well, welcome everyone. I've got another fantastic guest on 100% on, not in your business, where we talk about and focus on the topics that business owners typically struggle with getting out of the day-to-day and out of the weeds and really level up and focus on their business. Because when they can focus on their business, they focus on the growth, they focus on acquiring customers, growing their revenue, and developing their employees, so that it's their employees that run the business day to day and allow you, the owner, to really level up your company and your business and achieve the vision that you set out for yourself. Speaking of vision, that's exactly why I asked my guest on here today. My guest is Kristin, and she is a life coach, vision board facilitator, and a speaker. Kristin, it's so good to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm super excited to be here and have our chat today.
Well, I am too. So, you and I were talking just a little bit before this show about how we wanted, what topics we wanted to cover. I mean, there's so much that we could cover here. But, when I talk with a lot of my guests, whether they be business owners or coaches like yourself, the theme is very consistent. It always starts with a mindset, right? And so what do you see when you talk with business owners in terms of where they are with their mindset, and how do they adjust it and tweak it and keep those negative thoughts out?
I think great question, because if anything, there's thoughts rolling around in our brains 24/7, really. I follow the great neuroscience Joe Dispenza. If you guys aren't familiar with him, follow him, and they say we're 60 to 70,000 thoughts are rolling around in our brains, if you will, every day. Imagine if you had 60,000 pennies in front of you. That's a crazy number. And a lot of those thoughts we are literally absorbing from our outside world. Pretty much all of them, if you think about it. So one thing is to pay attention to what you're listening to. And it could be simple things like you don't think about the TV being on the background, or the news feed as you open up your phone, the titles you're glimpsing. So we can take on these thoughts, and they can really kind of steer us in the wrong direction. So the key thing with negative thoughts is, the first thing is to notice them. Notice when you're thinking those negative thoughts, because especially as an entrepreneur, and especially after the year and a half we've all been through, we have access to things 24/7. If anything, everyone knows what the Zoom is before. There's all these things that entrepreneurs only kind of knew about. So as the information's coming in, what are you noticing? And the key with that is, how is it making you feel? That's right there, and so indication. Ooh, this isn't making me feel good. Okay, why am I thinking this? Is this even my thought, in terms of, where did I get this from? Is this what I really think? Maybe it's almost like, think of a thought just kind of going across your mind. And when really you take that time to notice it and really say, whoa, notice it in terms of like, whoa, I don't feel like this, then you can change it. The one thing we can all control was what we think about. Just intentionally. So that's my first little nugget right there. Notice, as Mary Morrissey says, notice what you're noticing, but noticing that negative thought, and then really taking the time to go into that and, okay, why am I noticing this? What's going on with this? Because you can change your thought.
Right. And you mentioned something right there at the end. It's not just notice it and shut it down, but kind of process it. And where did it come from? And what's generating it? Kind of get to the root of the negative thought, and then flip that mindset, or flip your mindset so that thought isn't a negative, it's a positive.
Absolutely, because we live off what we believe. Now, that's not making any judgment right now about what anyone believes, but we live off what we believe, in terms of, if you want to change something, you need to change a belief about it. So how do you do that? You need to change a decision about that belief.
Right.
So just about that one for a second. Everything we do throughout our day is we believe, like, from the silly things like, what toothpaste are you using? What time did you get up? What are you eating? We do all those activities because we believe that's the best toothpaste. We believe we would want to eat that, or we think we need to eat that, or we think we need this much sleep. It's all beliefs. So when you want to make changes in your life, you're like, well, what do I believe about this? Why do I do this? Because most people, and it's some crazy amount, like 97% of people don't stop, look at their life where they are right now. And that's one of the things I love when people come to my workshops. I say, just give me 2 hours. Let's stop your life right now so you can actually look at it.
Right.
Where are you at? What do you want to do, be, have that you don't, because you've kind of gotten into the routine of things that you do. And I see that a lot with entrepreneurs. They feel so much pressure to, especially people who are coming out of corporate or maybe been in the entrepreneurial space, they need to be on all the time because they're not getting kind of that salaried paycheck. So when you go into that negative space, you're not creating anything. It's not a creative space. You're taking on all the pressures of being an entrepreneur.
Right.
So,
Well, no, you're right on. I mean, our days can be so overwhelming with all the facets of the business. I was talking with someone the other day. It's like you're the chief everything officer, and you shouldn't be. But when you take on all the facets of the business like that, you start to dwell on all those thoughts that are running through your brain, all the solutions that you think you need to come up with, versus being in that creative space, or even allowing your employees to come up with those solutions, which frees you up as an entrepreneur to do other things and focus on other things in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I've noticed in working with people, especially the last year and a half, is the amount of fear that was out there in the beginning, and it still kind of stayed out there, and the worry and the anxiety. And honestly, one of the reasons because I do a masterclass 2 times a month, and free, it's online. And one of the reasons I started doing that was because I saw this post and somebody had sprayed their groceries with Lysol. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's so much crazy fear out there that I wanted to dissipate the fear, because the fear is bringing up so many emotions. And when you take the word emotion, it's energy and motion that's running through your body to cause a feeling. And that feeling is sprinkling into the entrepreneurial space, because somebody who was used to maybe going to network meetings or doing whatever they did to run their business, and you had to completely pivot, it brought on this extra level of pressure. Okay, how am I going to do my business? This is what I'm used to.
Right.
And add that into their personal life, it was bringing a lot of pressure on people. And we weren't, as humans, designed, it's putting us in fear mode. It's putting us in fight or flight. It's raising our cortisol. It's raising our blood pressure. We weren't designed to live like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not, so one of the things I said, okay, I'm going to start doing these master classes and just getting people out of the fear mode. You want to go back into rest and digest. That's where you're going to create, because that's just, as an entrepreneur, especially like you said, you're wearing all the hats. You don't need that on top of it, all this extra pressure from your personal life. And all of a sudden now you're bringing in the money, you're doing what you're doing, and everything has to change and switch. And I just saw so much like anxiety, so much, worried, so much overwhelmed, so much stuck in how do I change and what I'm doing. So I felt like, okay, we got to give everybody a chance to just get this understanding, create this awareness, and then give some people some tools to pull themselves back, understand that you're okay, and be you, believe in yourself, look where you are, what you want to be, and let's pull you back into your path.
Right.
I've really been focused on.
Give them some space to do that. So, our thoughts, they drive those feelings and those emotions, and it's feelings and the emotions that we have that actually drive those actions. And
Absolutely.
So if you just boom, 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 react to the feelings and emotions without ever giving yourself that space that you're given in those workshops to really kind of reset your thoughts. I like the way that you said it. You never get a chance to really rest and digest. So you're a vision board facilitator. So can you explain to the audience, what is a vision board? How do they use it in their personal and professional life?
Absolutely. A vision board is actually such a fun thing to do. It's really, like I said, most people are just kind of going into the routine of life. And a vision board allows you to really sit down, and I walk people through a process. So before they actually get to the working on their actual vision board, I'm walking them through a whole kind of process and really kind of looking at their life from what the memories they remember all the way up until now.
Mhm.
And then it's way as you get clear, I have everybody writing. So it's this whole process I've developed and things are coming up in your brain. But what do you want to do? Like, what's something you want to go? I mean, I speak to so many people, and I just spoke with someone today who said, you know what? I would love to take my family and like literally move like into like maybe a tropical island for a while, half a year. How cool is that? It sounds crazy to some people. It could sound crazy to all of us, but when you take the time to say, okay, that's not crazy. People do it all the time. So the vision board allows you to take things like that, or maybe it's just like, I want to go be an entrepreneur, or maybe I want to find the love of my life, or maybe I want to have kids. It doesn't matter where you are in life in terms of doing a vision board. What matters is when you sit down and say, okay, this is what I want. This is the life I would love. And then what happens is as you're flipping through a magazine, your brain is going to kind of zone in on a picture, a word, a color, and I have people just rip them out. And through that methodology, as you put those pictures, words, colors on your board, it becomes this beautiful, I call it, creation of your life right now.
Mhm.
I have people work on canvases. And as you look at your finished board, the real key is that you want to feel into whatever it is you're looking at. So for example, we'll just take a fun one. We all have to go on a beautiful like Mediterranean trip on a cruise to Italy right now. How fun would that be? Okay, so if I talk to someone and they say that's what they want, okay, now imagine yourself on that cruise ship. What are you wearing? What are you eating? Who's with you? And you get into the feeling and the excitement of it.
Right.
Because your brain doesn't know the difference between something you're imagining or something you're actually experiencing. So that's the key point, which I know you and I had spoke about, like the law of attraction.
Yeah.
This is considered the law of vibration, meaning you're going to feel into it. Oh my gosh, this would be amazing. I would love to be on this cruise ship, and I went shopping and my family's with me. And you go into that and your body and your brain gets excited. And then what happens is you tune into opportunities to bring these things into life.
Right.
So super fun to do. Any age can do them, any time of life. Of course, a lot of people think in January, absolutely. But anytime during the day, the year is a good time to do your vision board.
Right. So you suggest any day is a good time to start, but I have a lot of friends that's their annual event, January.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of vision out their whole year, and they use that to drive their activities and their success, and ultimately what they want to do for the next 365 days.
I love it. That's awesome.
You made a lot of comments, a lot of points in how you were explaining that vision board. So some of those keywords that jumped out to me, and I'd love to just dig a little bit more.
Sure.
Vibration, law of vibration, law of attraction. You mentioned tuning in. So wrap all that together for us. What does it mean to tune in to the vibration, and what is the law of attraction?
Sure. So when you're looking at the law of attraction, I know we've all heard that word thrown around because of The Secret, and all that came into our awareness years ago. So the key, and there's actually, if you kind of are in that arena, there was a big chunk of the movie that left out, and it's the law of vibration, meaning we're all, we're human beings, but we all put out energy. Mm-hmm. And the easiest way I like to explain it is, say you walked into a room and maybe a bunch of your friends were in the room chatting and they're talking about something, I don't know, something latest in the news that was some exciting. And you kind of walk in and go, whoa, what are you guys talking about? It's like, you can feel that energy. Oh, yeah. Like if they're not talking about you, but you just feel like something's going on here, something's exciting. So that's just, I think, a really good explanation of energy. Like we're putting out an energy. So when you talk about the law of attraction, it's what do you want to attract to you? But the key to do that is understanding that I have to put the feeling and the emotion to it.
Right.
So take that example going, yeah, we're putting out energy that we can't see, feel, taste, or touch. But when there's something that you want on that board, and we'll just go back into the cruise to Italy because it's a fun and easy one. Okay. And you go into that space and you really start thinking about it. This would be amazing. And here's the real key. It's what you want and why you want it. So you can say, I want to go on a trip to Italy because that's where my grandparents came from, and I would love to take my kids, and that would be an amazing vacation. And then you go down that kind of thought process. But here's the key. This is what I want. I would love this. This would be so fun to surprise my family. and we go on this trip, but you let go of the how, because that's the key component. We get so stuck in the how we're going to make it happen, because we think, well, I can't do that. That trip's probably $10,000 and I don't have $10,000 on a vacation. And then we all of a sudden go down this pathway and we're not going to Italy because we've talked ourselves out of it.
Right. Because you start to see all the hows that you can't, that doesn't work for you. Right. And you convince yourself. And guess what? Once you start to see all the reasons why you can't go, start seeing more reasons why you can't go.
Exactly.
Law of attraction is weird, right?
Exactly. Yes. And it's almost like, I mean, here's an easy one. Look at 2020. Now, the virus aside, let's look at all the good that came out of 2020. There's so much good that came out of it, where people got to spend more time with their families.
Oh, yeah.
Started businesses. People, look at all the good in it and watch how more good comes into your awareness. Because and I mean, good grief, we can say like social media will do that. I was searching for like some new contacts the other day and boom, it shows up on my Instagram and everything else. But there's an example. It's like you're tuning into something and it's going to show up into your awareness, because here's another key point. These opportunities are always out there. So if you want to take that trip and you're thinking it's too expensive, guess what? There's somebody out there who can help you, and it's not going to be that expensive as you thought. You just have to tune into that information. And once law of attraction, you're going to attract to it if you believe, like you said, that you can do it instead of that you can't.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's really the law of vibration, which is kind of when you understand the law of attraction, how it's attracting to you. The law of vibration is that law of feeling, the law of that emotion. And that's what's helping the law of attraction. So when you get that point and you take the time to just get excited and feel into it, that's key.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the key, like you said, is that emotion that you would have if you did that thing you want to go do. If you were if you were in Italy, walking the streets of Italy, the emotions, the smells, all that experience that you would have, that really creates that vibration in yourself that can attract more of that to you. A lot of people, they always experience this. It's one that people kind of can relate to. You get the new car and you're driving in your new car and you got the new car smell, and you're playing with all the neat gadgets that are in the car. But then guess what happens? You start seeing that car everywhere. Did everyone get the memo that today's the day to go buy the car you bought? No, not necessarily. But you just have a heightened awareness, and you start to see when you look for it, those opportunities in life start to present.
Absolutely. Yes. And this is like your reticular activation center in your brain. Right. And that's there to protect you from everything going on around you. So you couldn't focus on everything going around you. But that's a great example. It's one I also use too, because it's such an easy one. And we think, why is everyone driving my car? Well, guess what? They were there yesterday, those cars. Right. But now you're so tuned into them, your brain is seeing them. So that's a great point, because when you understand this concept, and as an entrepreneur, and you put it and say, okay, well, if I can do this and manifest, if you will, a trip to Greece, I can do this for my business. Mm-hmm. How do I see my business? And this is what I love helping entrepreneurs. Okay, what is your actual vision of your business? Because what I find in working with people is a lot of people will, especially now, they're going to become a network marketer. Awesome. Now, and they're get sucked into these companies, and they get, overwhelmed with the podcast and the webinar and the Zoom, and I've got to do this and I've got to get on that, and they get gone down that road of the trainings and this, but they're not actually doing business.
Right.
They're overwhelmed with that. So when you take the time to say, okay, you've taken on this, amazing, this is awesome. But how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself putting it out there? Do you see clients coming in, or are you just, like you were saying, gets kind of stuck into what you need to be doing to get up and running? And then you're not doing ROI activities. You're not doing activities that are like serving you, that are bringing in money, that are bringing in clients. So that's a big thing I see when I help a lot of entrepreneurs. Okay, we've done this for your life. Let's do it for your business.
Right.
Key point. Very key.
Well, and you're right on with the start of defining your vision. Mm-hmm. Then you can basically decide, is the activity that I'm being asked to do, or that is on my schedule, does it support that vision? And if it doesn't, you really should ask yourself, should you be doing it, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's a distraction for you.
Mhm.
And entrepreneurs certainly don't need more distractions in life.
No, we're very squirrel distraction mode. So look at your return on investment, look at your ROI, and when you come from a place and you've got some clarity on what you want your business to look like.
Mhm.
And as an entrepreneur, I work with people say you're the SEO of your business. I don't care if it's just I shouldn't say just, but in a network marketing company, that's still your business was in that company.
Yeah.
Now, I literally walk down a road and say, what if you were physically in a building and all your clients and all your business partners were in that building with you? Now, what kind of activities would you be doing? Because that's a whole different mindset. People are, I work with people who are but I haven't missed a call. Great. Now you're getting the training.
Right.
But are you intentional with your calendar, or what's the activity you're doing? Because if anything, you and I know we could spend all day, every day just networking. Great. I love meeting new people. I totally enjoy that. But at the end of the day, you can sit back and say, I'm so busy. Well, what were you busy doing?
Right.
What's your return on investment on those meetings? So when you come from this place and you have this clear vision of, okay, this is my business and this is how I see myself in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, then what happens is your reticular activation center kicks in because you've taken the time and you're tuning in, and you think these synchronicities and opportunities, they're going to pop up because you're tuned in.
Right.
So that's one of the things when they say successful people, they make decisions quickly and they're very slow to change their decisions because they've done what you just said. You take time to get a clear vision. And then if something doesn't come into your alignment that it's going to have a great return on investment, it's very easy to say, no, that's great, but it's not what I'm doing right now. It's not in my wheelhouse for today or this week or this month.
Right. Yeah, they're very clear. So they can very quickly decide, is that activity aligned with what I want to do, who I am, and why I do what I do? And if
Absolutely.
not, they can very quickly make that decision. You're
Yes.
right on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. Now let's talk about a sponsor. Fiverr gives you access to the world's talent. Just like we talk about in the podcast, working 100% on your business and not in your business oftentimes means you need to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others. When you don't have employees, but you still need to access the talent across the world and delegate those tasks to the right people, Fiverr is the place to go. To learn more about Fiverr, go to www.insuremesteve.us/Fiverr, and that is Fiverr. There you'll be able to access talent across the world and delegate those tasks out, allowing you to work 100% on your business and not in your business. Now let's get back to the episode. This has been fantastic. So as you work with businesses or business owners, what do you see they struggle with? Maybe the one thing you see the most that across your business owners they struggle with, and you help them from a vision board facilitator standpoint.
Overwhelm. That is a big one. Just seeing people feel like they have to, post on social media every day and make sure they're on every single Zoom and network and have a life.
Yeah.
So because we are so connected now more than ever, and because everyone knows what the word Zooms mean, and we all have access, we can all just get on calls or get on network meetings nationally, internationally. So I work with a lot of people that are just so overwhelmed, but I didn't do this and I have to do this. And I'm like, okay, breathe. When you just breathe, because we all have the exact same amount of time in our day.
Yeah.
But let's pull it back and is there work-life balance? Some days, yes, some days, no. But when you can kind of go into that place when you just say, okay, this is my intention for today and this is my calendar. And guess what? There's going to be some days when you're just done, and that's okay. So I think that is a key point there, when you can just realize, even if you've been intentional with your calendar, let's say for a whole week, and you've been super intentional of everything you've planned, your meetings, your work schedule, everything's in there. But there might just be a day where you're just done. I can't do anymore. I can't think. then allowing yourself to have the grace to say, what I call it, I'm done today. I'm done. I'm unplugging. I don't care if I don't post. I don't care if I didn't send that email. It's okay. Just giving yourself that grace to understand that life is about the journey. Life is about the experience. Nobody ever, I would think, gets to the end of their life and says, wow, I wish I worked more. But we get stuck in the day to day. So pick your head up, get away from everything, and understand that we're all get to those points where you're just like, I'm just done right now. And it's okay. Shut it down, go do something else. And let it know, go into that space where really, 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 it's okay. Whatever got done today was supposed to get done today. I've got tomorrow. It's all good. So that's one thing I really, really see a lot of right now is overwhelm, because we're just so tapped in 24/7.
Right. As you were talking, one of my favorite sayings kind of popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have heard this too, but we are human beings, not
Mm-hmm.
human doings. But bam, 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 bam. We get into our day and we're all do. And yep. we forget that,
Mm-hmm.
life is an experience. And if we're just focused on the next thing that's in front of us, that we're not really taking the benefit to really experience everything that goes on around us.
So true. Yeah, be present in the moment.
Yeah.
Be present in what you're doing. And that's a learned behavior. You have to really focus on that. Because to me, I like to say, okay, if people are kind of getting depressed about things going on, that's because they're basing it on an experience they've previously had. They think that's going to happen again. Not to in any way say that that's not an issue to you need help and support on. But the high level of that, when you're anxious, you're worried about something again that happened in the past that you think might happen again. Now, I just kind of high level that, because pull yourself back into the one moment you can control, which is right now. That's it.
Right.
You can't redo the past. The future is always going to be the future. But when you pull yourself back in and say, hang on, I can control this moment right now. This is it. The only moment I have in front of me.
Right.
So it's kind of a high level, but I like that concept, because it's just like, why am I going to worry and be scared? I'm like, whoa, this is it right now. Go into that place.
Right. Yeah. Well, and like you said earlier, the brain doesn't know the difference between you thinking about it and you experiencing it. So when you bring up that past, and that past was a negative experience for you, you're reliving the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Again, at least in your brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you know what? That's a good point, because think about that. We've all done that. Now, take a concept and understand that you're thinking about something in the past, and then you're starting to be sad or frustrated or whatever sad emotion comes up. Guess what? You can do that for the future. Yeah. Now take that and go, hey, we all have experiencing this, but it's hard for us to sometimes grasp. Wait a minute. If I took this concept and said, if I've experiencing something and I can experience it again by thinking about it, how about I experience something I really want? And when I'm thinking about it, that's bringing the experience into my moment right now. And then one key thing to do is take one action step, just one, because that will lead to the next and lead to the next. Right. And that's letting you go of the big how, because you're not even going to be able to perceive, once you get into that energy of this is what I really want, of the way things are going to line up and happen. I can tell you crazy stories, and I'm sure we've all lived them. So great point. That's good.
This has been fantastic. I'm so glad that you were on the show today. If people want to learn more about you, if they want to know more about visioning and vision boards, how would they get in contact with you, and how would they learn more about it?
Yes, this has been so much fun. I love this conversation. Thank you so much, Steve, for this opportunity. So my business is called Sunflower Connections. You can find me on Facebook, Sunflower Connections, on Instagram, and my website, sunflowerconnections.com. So yeah, I mean, anywhere I can help you, DM me. I am always looking to collaborate with people to do charity vision board workshops. Mm-hmm. So we pick your favorite charity. All the money goes to that charity. So they are working out great online. So if you're not local, I'm absolutely happy to do that for you too, because that's my way of giving back and my way of serving. And I have a goal in my brain this year of how many charity vision board workshops I want to do to you. So thanks for the opportunity, Steve. That's
awesome. So teams can get together, and then the cost of that class goes to their favorite charity. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And then you mentioned earlier about your masterclass. Can you give the details of how people would get access to that?
Sure, absolutely. So it's on my bio on Sunflower Connections. The link is always there. You just click on that. That's the free Zoom. They're the first and third Wednesdays every month from 6:30 to 7:30 Central Time. So you just can go right there to Instagram. In that bio, click the link. It just gives you the Zoom information and you will be ready to roll. And that's just, I mean, I'm also that information in my masterclass. I've been doing it throughout this whole year and a half. So if anybody wants to do it for any of their groups or organizations, I would be blessed and honored to be able to share the information. So thanks, Steve.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And, you and I, we kind of run around in a lot of the same networking groups. So I'm sure I will see you here soon, but this has been fantastic. I really loved the conversation as well. Thank you again.
Yes. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
What a fantastic episode. I've been a student of the law of attraction for probably about 6, 7, maybe 8 years. And Kristin did such a great job of explaining how it works. And it's not about attracting, it's about vibrating. There was so much that she shared about how the law of vibration works, because it's based off of emotions. It's the emotions that we have that drive the feelings that really create the vibration within ourselves that attracts what we want. And just like other guests have talked about, for business owners and entrepreneurs, it all starts with mindset. And having that positive mindset creates the thoughts that we want, that creates the feelings, that creates the actions, that delivers the outcomes. Kristin talked about noticing what you're noticing. In the moment, when those negative thoughts start to creep in, notice them, and then notice, why are you noticing those negative thoughts at the moment? Try to identify the root cause of what created that negative thought to begin with, and flip your belief around that thought so that you can start to turn that negative into a positive thought. Kristin's specialty is helping business owners and entrepreneurs develop their vision and put it on display so that they see it each and every day, and it reinforces their goals and what they want to achieve. She recommends any day is a good day to start, and a lot of good vision board practitioners focus on it at the beginning of the year because it drives their activities throughout the year. I loved her comment about being in the moment, and how she said nobody says at the end of their life, wow, they wish they had worked more. Whatever got done on that day was supposed to get done on that day. So she gives you permission to be able to shut down, because we're all human. And we can be overwhelmed with the amount of activities and thoughts that come into our head each and every day. And it's okay to just shut down and focus on yourself and take on the challenge another day. This has been another fantastic episode of 100% on, not in your business. I hope you found a lot of value in what Kristin shared, and really helping you generate more positive thoughts in your life so that you as an entrepreneur can drive the success that you want. My goal is to help you work 100% on, not in your business. And I help entrepreneurs and business owners do that by attracting and retaining motivated employees with fantastic health insurance benefits. There are alternatives out there that business owners don't know about, and it's my job and my desire to help you understand what these alternatives are, because health insurance benefits are more within your reach as a business owner than you think. And when you can provide those benefits to your employees, you'll be able to get them and keep them, develop them, allow them to work on the day-to-day, allowing you to level up and work on your business, driving your customer growth, driving your revenue growth. My name is Steve Stump. This has been an absolute joy. Stay tuned next week. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button,